My sister, 7, comes up to me and asks where I got the chocolate milk and how I spilled it on my leg. I look down, there's liquid feces on my right leg. Was wearing blue Nike shorts and boxers. I'm terrified. I have poo on my leg. I casually walk to the bathroom. How do you casually walk to the bathroom with boo-boo on your leg? What's good, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. It's Tiara, and for those who are new, welcome. Today is Reddit Wednesday, and the topic for today is embarrassing stories. I've done this before where I went on my Instagram story and asked you guys what your embarrassing stories are, but since it's Reddit Wednesday, I felt like it was appropriate to look at some on Reddit. Real quick before we get started, I know this is a little bit off topic, but I do want to let you guys know, for those who don't know already, that I'm currently in the process of producing a dating show. I am in the casting process right now. If you are between the ages of 21 and 30 and you're looking for love and you're single, you need to be single, then go ahead and apply. I'm still going through applications as we speak, and I think it would be a really fun experience. The link is down in the description, so if you want to take a look at it, see what the requirements are, feel free. But y'all know I don't like to keep my intros too long, so let's get straight into the video. Today, I thought I'd finally go back to the gym with my partner. I was feeling really good, confident even. I decided to wear all black leggings, a crop top, and a cute crop sweater. I even brought my puffer coat since it was a bit chilly. Once we got there, I took off my coat and put it in the locker. I adjusted my leggings, threw on my sweater, and helped my partner store his wheelchair in the weight section. Then I made my way back to the main area where the treadmills and shoulder machines were. It was so busy, probably because of the bank holiday. As I walked through the gym, I started noticing people looking at me. At first, I thought nothing of it. Then more people turned their heads. I told myself, maybe it's just because I look good today. But the looks didn't feel like admiration. They were intense, lingering. Some people stared too long. Others looked, then quickly looked away like they were trying not to laugh. And that's when my stomach started to turn. Just as I was about to head into the women's section, a man came up to me and yelled, "Do you know your leggings are ripped?" I would simply wither away, because out of everybody in the gym, it just had to be a man, didn't it? Not to say anything's wrong with that. Kudos to him for telling you, because you clearly didn't know. But it's like, dang, I would at least want a girl to tell me, you know what I'm saying? Like, it would feel more like a safe space. But a man? I would never come back. I froze. I wanted to disappear. I reached down instinctively, prayed it was just a small tear, but it wasn't. It was the entire crotch area. I was completely exposed without even knowing it. I was mortified. I felt like the air had been sucked out of the room. My face burned. My heart was racing. All those stares, it suddenly made sense. They weren't admiring. They were pitying, or worse, amused. I couldn't even think. I rushed back to the locker, grabbed my coat without making eye contact with anyone, and left the gym as fast as I could. I cried the entire way home. I've never felt so embarrassed in my life. That is a very valid reaction. I personally would not even complete my workout. I would be too ashamed. And I wouldn't return either, because what do you mean the whole entire gym just saw me exposed? I wouldn't even know what to think. And especially these days with people recording their workouts and like recording stuff in the gym, I would be so paranoid. Like, what if somebody captured that on camera? You just never know. I feel like as a girl, there's so many things that you have to worry about, especially at the gym. If it's not ripping your pants, it could be bleeding through your shorts. That's a big fear that I have. Like, I'm always so scared that something like that would happen to me. And if no one said anything and I found it until I got home, I would be overthinking like nobody's business. My friend and I went to dinner. Soon after, we don't feel so good. We realize we both need a bathroom now. We are not going to make it home. We pull into a mall parking lot and run inside to use the bathroom. I am in the middle stall, my friend is on my right, and on my left, a mom is helping her child go to the bathroom. My friend and I are violently pooping out our insides, which is embarrassing enough, knowing this poor woman is hearing us. You probably traumatized the mom and the kid. I get that you're hurting and the food wasn't good, but imagine the experience that they had to go through. That's probably gonna haunt them forever. I hear my friend ask, "Are you finished?" And I reply, "I think so." I then hear my friend and the lady in the stall next to me burst out laughing, and I realize that the lady was actually asking her child if they were finished using the restroom. It was not my friend asking me. You know, I can't even lie. If that was me in the situation, I would not leave the stall. I would have to wait until the mom and the kid left, and then I would go about my day. Because you're not about to see my face. There is no way we're about to lock eyes. I'm already embarrassed. My stomach hurts. I'm pooping out everything I got inside of me. That's the last thing I need. I was 15 and I was at Sam's Club with my parents. I was in the video game section playing some demo on the PS2. I felt like I needed to fart, so I pushed a little. It felt like I had let a silent one out, but I didn't hear it, and it smelled terrible about 2 seconds afterwards, per usual. About 30 seconds later, the smell is still lingering, and I was just proud that I had caused that much damage to the air. Why are you proud of that? I mean, I guess you could be proud that it didn't make a loud noise, but from what I know, the silent ones are the most deadly. My sister, 7, comes up to me and asks where I got the chocolate milk and how I spilled it on my leg. I look down, there's liquid feces on my right leg. Was wearing blue Nike shorts and boxers. I'm terrified. I have poo on my leg. I casually walk to the bathroom. How do you casually walk to the bathroom with boo-boo on your leg? Nothing about that is casual. That has to be uncomfortable, because not only is it dripping down your leg, but it must be tucked in your pants. The fact that I'm even picturing this in my mind is crazy. Now that I think about it, why is it liquid? If it's dripping down your leg, it sounds like that's diarrhea. Here comes the embarrassing part. I'm in the stall, cleaning up my leg, trying to figure out what the hell do I do with my boxers, which are covered in poo water. I can't keep them. The car will smell on the ride home. I can't leave them in the stall. There were people waiting. I had to flush them. I'm not gonna lie, if I was in your position, I would do the same thing. Because I'm not about to get caught stinking up the whole store. That's crazy. Well, apparently boxers don't flush well. Toilet backed up, flooding the entire stall and spreading to the rest of the bathroom. I'm freaking out, but I'm clean. I got most of the poo off my leg. A janitor has entered the restroom and I exit the offending stall. I'm imagining this in real life. Like, if I was in that position, I wouldn't want anyone to see me either. This is kind of like when you're playing hide and go seek and you kind of got to shift so they don't see you. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, picture it in your mind. But the fact that you're in a case where you have doo-doo jaws, you flooded the entire bathroom, not even just your stall, the entire bathroom. And now that you hear a janitor coming in, like, I would do the same thing. So I can't even hate on it. I really can't. He asked what happened and I can't speak. I should have, because the boxers were still in the toilet, clearly visible. I just casually walk out. This whole casually walking out thing does not make sense to me. Like, in a situation like this, like, what about this is casual? I probably would have given it away if it was me. I can't even lie. Meanwhile, my parents were ready to leave and couldn't find me. They aren't super hover parents, but they got worried because I wasn't in the video game section or the candy section. The ordeal was going on 10-ish minutes long. Apparently, my sister told them that I walked towards the bathroom with an older man. So my parents are assuming the worst and get the security and management involved. Oh my gosh. I understand that the sister meant well, but sometimes you could just mind your business because now it's gonna make the situation worse than it already is. Back to the bathroom. I'm trying to walk out. The janitor finds the boxers and it's all huffy puffy. The manager is walking down the hallway towards the bathroom to try to handle the missing child with the old man situation. I'm trying to leave the bathroom to handle the I just pooed my pants and clogged the toilet with the boxer situation. Manager stops me, asks me if I was in any type of situation, and I don't know how to answer. I tell him there was an incident in the restroom. He takes that as something happened to me with the old man I was apparently stolen by. I understand that there's a lot going on in the situation, so we gotta improv here. But I feel like this is when we really have to be careful with how we phrase certain situations, because that's how I would have taken it too. If the little girl said that she went in the bathroom with an old man, I'm gonna think the worst too. Because what are you going in the bathroom with an old man for? And then for your response to be that there was an incident in the restroom, but you were 15, so I can't really expect you to know how to go about the situation. You clearly have more to deal with, so it was an impromptu moment, I get it. Let's just hope the police don't get involved, because that's a case. He radios the security. The timing is crazy. That's the last thing I wanted to happen, but here we are. He radios the security to contact the police and to have them head towards the restrooms. I freak out. I didn't think flushing my underwear warranted the police getting involved. It's not flushing your underwear that got the police involved. It's you saying that there's an incident with the old man. You just made him a suspect. It's not funny, but it is. My parents get to me, ask if I'm okay. I'm too embarrassed to tell them what happened, still without knowing what their perception of the matter was. I said, I'm fine. Security is rushing over, asking me if he's still in there. I have no idea what they're talking about. Oh, okay. So this whole time I thought you understood the implications and you were just too worried about the poop that you just said what you said. So now I understand where you're coming from. Because I was gonna say that's kind of messed up. Like, you're putting this man on the scene and making him a target. But now that I know that you truly don't understand what's going on with the man, I can sympathize. But I'm interested to see what happens. They asked me what happened. There's a gathering of rubberneckers trying to see what's going on. I'm really confused why this is a huge deal. I confess. I tell them that I mud butted down my leg and tried to flush my underwear down the toilet, clogging it in the process. The looks I got. Worst part was the police were there in like 5 minutes and I had to tell them exactly what happened to me. After the seriousness of the situation wore off and everyone realized I wasn't by an old man, many laughs were had at my expense. And the old man, like, it's not just you. You had police going to Sam's Club trying to detain an old man who did absolutely nothing, and the whole entire time they think that you got. I really want to know what the point of view is from the man, because imagine like you're just going to the store shopping, going about your day, getting your fruit, getting your veggies, and then the cops come over something that didn't happen, and it all stemmed from somebody dripping boo-boo down their legs. Like, that is just such a crazy story, and to know that you caused it all, I know it's all laughs now, but it's like, dang, that's crazy. I'm just glad that nobody went to jail. Because that would have been real unfortunate. Like, how do you even explain yourself? He doesn't even know what's going on, and it's gonna sound like he's guilty. So I'm glad it was all solved. I was around 26 and had just gotten my tonsils out. I was having issues swallowing, like choking on my spit or drinks all the time. Well, about a week after the surgery, I decided to go to a comedy club with my mom and a few friends. I'm already laughing because I'm foreshadowing what's about to happen. It's just so funny to think that your mouth is all swollen up and you're about to go to a comedy club where people laugh. So I'm only assuming the worst, but let's keep going. Everything is going well. Had a couple drinks and laughs. Well, this one comedian comes on and I'm dying, like tears in my eyes laughing. Oh, I can relate. And then it happens. I inhale my spit and start coughing like a maniac. I'm laughing because I'm picturing this happening in my head. I know if I was in that room and I saw you hacking, I would have lost it. Especially in a comedy club, like I'm already laughing. I'm already in the mood of humor. So that's just what made me laugh even more. I'm trying to leave, but I'm coughing so hard I throw up the 2 white Russians I had just enjoyed an hour ago. Luckily for me, I caught all the vomit in my outstretched jacket. Horrified, I headed to the bathroom and the sweet old lady, after telling her what happened, tells me, "Don't worry, it happens to everyone." I tried going back in, but there was a faint hint of vomit smell and I was filled with so much shame and embarrassment. I sat out on the curb. It should not be this funny. I'm sorry, y'all. I sat out on the curb until the show was over. I can't be the only one who's literally putting the story together in my brain. Imagine you're literally coughing like crazy in the comedy club. You throw up, you stink. And you're so embarrassed that you had to be out on the curb. Like, that is so funny to me. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude. Like, I understand that was embarrassing. I'm sure you can laugh about it now, but that got to me. I can't even lie. A few years ago, I had a roommate while I was in college. I was around 23 at the time, and she was in her late 30s, I believe. At first, she seemed normal and nice, but things got kooky real quick. It seemed to start when her boyfriend started coming over to our apartment. I would hear them arguing sometimes, but honestly, it wasn't any of my business, so I didn't really want to get involved. Another relevant detail I should mention is that I have IBS. For those who don't know, IBS is a condition that affects the GI system, so like the stomach, intestines, all of that. And around that time, I was up several times a night to go to the bathroom. When I would go back to my bedroom after using the bathroom, I'd always hear my roommate leave her bedroom and walk around the apartment. I didn't think much of it. A week or so later, she texted me asking if I'm bringing people into the house at night. I was really confused, so I said no. A few hours later, she responded asking if I am sneaking her boyfriend into the apartment at night and sleeping with him. I was actually dumbfounded and in shock. Like, I had no idea how to respond, so I just said no again. I literally don't know what else to say. I felt kind of bad because she was definitely struggling mentally at the time. There were tons of other instances that showed that. She would get very paranoid over things. It took me a little while, but I realized she was probably assuming these things because she would hear me get up out of my bed several times a night because of my IBS. I didn't have the balls to explain that I'm not sneaking people into the apartment or doing things with her boyfriend. I'm just pooping. A few weeks later, I was out of town for a couple of days. I got another text from my roommate where she accused me of calling her a B and then saying I'm a little. Again, I was extremely confused, so I decided to just not answer. Then I got a call from my landlord. I answered the phone and asked him if he knows what's going on with my roommate because I got a weird text from her. He said that my roommate called him saying that I left her a note on how to take care of my leopard gecko, and that in the note it said, "Good luck, B," at the end. I was so embarrassed because I knew exactly what he was talking about. It was a note I made for my friend, literally like a year or two beforehand because I was going to be away for a week, and I needed her to come over to take care of my gecko. And we call each other B just for fun. I was frantically explaining that to my landlord, and thankfully he believed me and understood. I honestly have no idea how she even found that note because I thought I threw it out literal months ago. I'm not even gonna lie. Once you said you're 23 and your roommate is in her late 30s, I raised an eyebrow. I feel like being 23 and being in your late 30s is 2 whole different stages of life. So being roommates, to me personally, this is just my opinion, is very interesting. But I mean, there's nothing we can do about that. You're already in the situation. But I just have so many questions. Like, how does she even get a hold of that note? Something just tells me that she went through your stuff. Because you already said that she was having some issues with her relationship. She's accusing you of things. And now she's finding a note that you sent to your friend years ago. It's crazy. I would put a lock on that door because I'm already going to make the assumption that she went through your stuff. But that's going to be the end of today's video. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for joining, for watching. If you like what you saw, please make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps your girl out. And again, if you're new to the YouTube crew, welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you had a good time. Once again, if you are interested in being featured in my dating show, the link is going to be down in the description. Check it out. We're still going through applications. But aside from that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I'll see you on the flip side. T is out.